Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a hospital for all of your city building needs. This hospital features an ambulance, a helicopter, a giant car park, a coffee shop, a small gift shop / convenience store, an accident and emergency department with multiple examination rooms, nurses stations. The hospital also has 9 different wards. It has 3 operating rooms. Scalpel! We have a maternity ward, an X-ray machine, an MRI machine, and also a surprising amount of toilets. Yeah, that's certainly a selling point. And there's also so much more, but not really. That's kind of they're the important parts. In this tutorial, we will mostly be focusing on the outside of the hospital, all of the outside grounds, absolutely everything that you can see right now, pretty much, and what you did see just a moment ago, because now we can't see the front, but we'll be doing that too. The inside, ambulance, and helicopter will each be getting their separate tutorials. So what I'm saying is, be sure to check out the channel for each one of the rest of those videos. You'll easily be able to find them in the card system, the description below, and possibly easiest of all, in the comment section. Every single one of those videos will be linked, and they will each be available soon, even if you can't access them now. They'll be posted a day after each other. Now, I don't want to be a baby about this, but because I'm in the maternity ward, be a baby, but I put a lot of work into this build in particular, a lot of time, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it enough to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. It would help the channel out so much. I'm very sorry for the length of these videos, by the way, but if you could try and watch as much of these as possible, that would be insanely helpful as well. Subscribe if you haven't already. Click that little bell next to the subscription button and make sure that the notifications are turned on so that you make sure that you get to make all of the hospital related stuff as it comes out. And of course, well, that's it, actually. There's no of course. Let's get into the tutorial. This is the amount of space required to make your hospital, a 64 by 54 block area as represented by the white concrete grid on the ground, which I would more than recommend making because number one, it'll help you plan out your city or your world. It'll really be quite helpful and it'll help you in this tutorial a lot as well. So feel free to make it, I'd recommend it. Here are all of the materials that you will need to make your hospital. Please do make sure that you have access to all of those materials and enough of them as well. And now that we have all of our stuff, we can get started. Step 1, come all the way down to the front left hand corner of your grid, if you've made it, and count to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then inwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Begin by placing a row of 18 smooth quartz going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. On top of this 18th block, extend up by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then place a row of 6 upside down smooth quartz stairs going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place a smooth quartz block on the end, and then another. Extend backwards by 1, and then place another 6 upside down stairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place a smooth quartz block on the end, join it down to the ground, and then extend the block that hits the ground backwards by 2. 1, 2. Now, we want to take the second block right here, and we want to extend right by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now, we want to extend backwards by 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Extend up by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Extend right by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Extend up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to do two things. Number one, we want to extend this block forwards by 4 using upside down stairs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stick a smooth quartz block on the end. But we're going to come back to this block and we're going to do this sort of thing a few times. We're going to come back to this block and we're going to extend it to the right by 5 using upside down quartz stairs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place a smooth quartz block on the end and go up by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then have to do two things. Number one, we should be able to extend this 7th block forwards and down to the front corner of the entrance to our hospital. So that'll give us a nice little gauge on whether this is going very well, and we also get a nice little bit of a look at this, which sort of resembles modern art. We're then going to come all the way back to where we were working, and we're going to extend this corner block to the right by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pretty sure that that's 8, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can't be too careful. Extend up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then forwards by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we're then going to leave that 14th block alone and we're going to come back to where we started. I told you we'd be doing that a few times. Extend this block to the right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extend in 1. Right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. In by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then right by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, we should be able to connect this block here down to where we first started. And this is great news because this is pretty much the frame of the hospital. I mean, it's not quite there because, you know, there's kind of just like rows sort of like hanging in midair, but we should be able to connect this down and then forwards, and we should be left with this, which might seem like a huge mess to you, but trust me, this is a good sign. This is good news. So now that we have this, we're going to start making some boxes so that we can fill it in. So for example, where we very first started here, we want to extend this quartz block up and we want to join it all the way over to the right. So it might be easier to go over to the right, extend across, and then kind of just join it down. I was actually pretty close. I was only like 1 block off. Extend this block towards the back here. So now, hopefully, this is already looking a little bit better, right? Perfect. The road that we have up here will connect down to that, like this is going to be a roof. I'm half wondering whether I should just fill this in whilst we are sort of up here. It might be a good idea. So, two things. You can either fill the roof in with smooth stone, which is what I really want to do, or you can use chiseled quartz block if you prefer, but I kind of want to use smooth stone. So the smooth stone is simply, and by the way, there is an indoor part up here. So later on, we might have to adjust this a little bit, probably in the next video when we actually do tackle the interior. But for now, I would really prefer the top of the roof to be smooth stone. It just makes sense to me. Like, I like it. It's a nice contrast with the white. It makes sense because it's like an outdoor walking around area. Plus, there's going to be a helipad, which I believe that we'll probably add in this video. If not, we'll be adding it in the helicopter video. I'm really hoping that at the start of this video, I covered the fact that this is a multi-part video. If not, I'm going to repeat myself once more. This is a 4-part video. We're going to be making the hospital and all of the outside stuff in this video. We're going to be doing the inside in the next video, and then there will be 2 separate vehicle tutorials, and I'm already considering perhaps making maybe another one. I have a couple more vehicle ideas, but we'll see whether they make the cut, but there is definitely going to be 4. So, now that we have filled the top of the area in up here, what I want to do is I want to turn this weird quartz shape here into a room. So we'll take the end of this row, we'll join it down, we'll take the top of this, and we'll extend it left by 9. By my calculations, I'm pretty sure it should connect here. So I'll tell you what, we won't bother counting any sort of rows, we'll just extend it left and backwards, or forwards and right, whichever way you want to do it. The left side of this room is going to be filled in, the back part of this room is going to be filled in, the right part of this room is going to be filled in, and guess what? The top of this room is going to be filled in. There's not really any windows or anything up here. Literally, what this part of the hospital is, what this entire little part of the building is basically just to get to the roof. It's a set of stairs and an elevator built in together. So that's pretty much what this entire purpose of the room is. And of course, it's got a little exit so that you can get in and out. So all of this will get joined down. Might even do it now, like on the back of your, let's take a look at the back of the hospital, right? So you can see that part of the hospital, like this will join this right side down. Like any time that we kind of have like an opportunity to make a new shape, and I could have just made the entire back of the hospital just completely flat, which is what I did think about doing, because I mean hospitals aren't like, they're not usually like the most extravagantly architecturally like beautiful buildings. They're usually fit for purpose, you know. I mean, I don't need to look at a hospital and be like, I don't really want to go there, it's not quite pretty enough. Like, you go to hospital because you need to go to hospital. So, but I have tried to add a little bit of depth, and I've added windows at the back of the hospital. By the way, this row here, this can be extended down as well. We're not going to fill the entire back of the hospital in quite yet because it's got windows, so we're going to have to plan all those out, but we are quite safe in adding these rows down, and I think it helps a lot when you're building these sorts of things to kind of make these shapes so that you can really see in your own mind how it's just piecing together. So anyway, this is just going to be filled in using quartz here. This will be quartz here, so you know we can just extend these rows across. We can add a little bit of smooth stone here. I do not believe that there might be a window back here, but we'll just leave this for now. But this right side, this is, what am I doing? This right side is 100% smooth stone or smooth quartz, which is a type of stone, so technically still correct. Perfect. We want to place smooth quartz slabs around the edge of the top of the hospital, just to create a little bit of depth between the roof and the rest of it, really. So the edge of the hospital. So place the smooth quartz slabs just going all the way around, and how will that look? That looks great. I love that. I don't know why, that's quite a satisfying thing to look at. Let's make the entrance. So the entrance is on the right side of this building. It starts off with a vertical row of blue glass here on the right. Leave a gap of 1. We'll have a row of pane, and then a row of blue glass to the left of it. It's easier to place the glass and then extend the pane upwards. And then a row of smooth quartz to the left, forwards, and then extend across, and then boom. This can just be a little window, so we'll just have this filled in. And then, like I said, with the interior tutorial, we'll take care of all of the rest of it. I think I'm going to have a look at the back of the building now, just to see if I did include any windows on the back of the build. Yes, actually, there is a small window. It's situated on this left side here. Basically, you add a row of smooth quartz block here on the left, And then you want to have, starting from underneath here, you want to place 2 rows of glass pane. So one underneath the other. And then we'll have a row of smooth quartz block. Whoops, my bad. So here, so there's just a little window. This is where the staircase is going to be. So, and then we can fill the rest of this in. And this is where the lift is going to be, the elevator. So that's why this is all blank. These stairs have windows, though, to keep it nice and bright. So I'm very, very happy with that. Later on, when we're adding additional details, we will figure out whether we want to add the helipad. So, for now, this is what we're looking at. Very, very happy. I think that we should make the main part of the hospital, because it will really just help to piece things together, quite honestly. So, we are going to, on the left side of the hospital, on the front, we're going to add a vertical row of smooth quartz that goes from the bottom to the top. We want to add windows. So to the right of this, along the bottom wall, we want to place 2 glass, space of 2, 2 glass, space of 2, 2 glass, space of 2, 2 glass, and then naturally there will be a 2 block space. So between all of these windows, I'm going to recommend you place 3 rows of smooth quartz. So 3 rows between all of the windows. And then connect them together at the top, leaving a, well, not quite leaving because we've already filled them in, but the windows are 2 by 2 high. So on the front of the hospital, this is where the windows stop. So these last 2 rows of quartz, I want you to extend them upwards all the way up to the top of the hospital. I think that they actually coincide with the edge of this building here, which is funny. So here. And then the windows work like this. There will be 2 rows of quartz between the windows. And then it is basically pretty much coming most of the way up to the top. There are 4 rows of windows. Each one of the windows is a 2 by 2 square. And between the windows, there is a 2 by 2 square of quartz. So, if you place all of the quartz first, it will be much easier to place the glass pane. So if you extend up all of the framework between the windows, and then we will extend it across like a hashtag in between the, we've just made some giant exclamation points, and then if we leave a gap of 2, so like if you can imagine it, so this is how it's going to go, right? So we've got our space of 2, 2 glass, space of 2, 2 glass, space of 2, 2 glass, and then that's it for the regular windows. So if we just place some quartz here in between them, just 2 rows like this, and then when we get up to the top, I want a single row of glass. So just to differentiate it pretty much. So basically, although it doesn't matter on this right side is a completely different animal. Not quite literally an animal because, you know, it's not alive, but we want to have something. I mean, can you kind of see how this is going to get pieced together? So now we'll kind of, like I said, make it into like a hash like this, and then across here, and then that will just leave space for the windows, which they'll all be filled in. I don't want to say each floor's purpose, because I don't actually remember off the top of my head, because believe it or not, this hospital has different kinds of rooms and such. So there we go, we've got all of these empty spaces that just need filling in with blue glass pane. But the base of the hospital is an ER, or A&E. A&E is better. I don't know if that's universal, but basically it's accident and emergency. So, you know, if you were to have an accident happen, you require medical attention, you absolutely cannot wait, you go to A&E. That's how it works in Britain. I don't quite know if that's everywhere else, but maybe you've got an equivalent. So you'd go to A&E, you'd be seated, you wait, a doctor usually sees you quite quickly, or medical professional, and so we have an A&E on the bottom floor. But we also have a cafe, we also have like a gift shop slash, you know, sort of like place to get papers and stuff, and we also have like a nurse's station and some maybe some other things as well, some seating and what have you. It's quite a big build, ladies and gentlemen. Like, it's hard to actually remember everything that I put into this, but this is what we want to have so far. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to join basically this wants to be a pillar. So can you remember when we extend forwards and down? This is kind of like the front corner pillar. All of these 4 blocks want to get extended down just like this. Perfect. And then this is the entrance. There's only one entrance into the hospital. Perhaps a design flaw. We can always add another one later if we want to, but here. And then we want to fill the entire left side above this in using smooth quartz. So the entire left side, because we're going to have a big giant plus, a big giant red plus, because I think that that is a universal, like, we can help you. You know, like, if you're wearing a big giant red plus, it's like, you need help, we got you. So I think that that's what we've got, and we'll actually have hospital written out. The right side here, now you see this is a little bit different. So we just want to, we'll add a wall, but we're probably going to have to knock it out on the inside video. So we're going to join the front and the back of the hospital together up to the top of the entrance, and then we're going to mark out some windows, and then what am I doing? And then we're going to add, we'll fill in the entire wall. So there we go, perfect. To the top of the entrance, and then we're going to add, by the looks of it, we're going to add another row of smooth quartz, just smooth quartz actually, here. And then we want to follow the same pattern, so we want to like have a row. We're going to reinforce this corner by adding a vertical row of smooth quartz from the bottom to the top. And then we're going to have two sets of windows, so 2 glass, space of 2, 2 glass. We'll place smooth quartz in between them. We'll have a row of 2 quartz on the end here that will extend all the way up. And then we'll have the same window pattern that we do on the front of the build, meaning we'll have 4 rows of 2x2, and then we'll finish at the top with a row of 1x2. So we're just going to basically place all of the frame, because I find it much easier. If you're on PC, perhaps this isn't so much of a big deal, but if you've got a controller, and if you're anything like me, you'll probably find it easier to place a glass pane after the fact, unless maybe you're just, maybe you're just far more dexterous than I, which wouldn't surprise me. So we want to have something which should look like this. You can see how the left side and the right side match up, and then we want to fill this in with glass pane. And then once this has been filled in with glass pane, we want to, there's so much to do, guys. There's actually so much to do, but on the right side, we're probably going to fill it in. We'll fill in the right side with the quartz, because we can always just destroy it if it gets in our way. So now that the glass is in, we'll join this entire wall together. So yeah, we'll do that, and then I guess we'll do the last little build, because I mean we've kind of got like a floating row of quartz somewhere. It might even be behind me. Where is it? Oh yeah, there it is. We've kind of just got like a floating row of quartz, and that just leads you on to another roof. Like that, it doesn't actually serve a purpose, this roof, but you might be able to stick a small helicopter on there, maybe. But it's more so just a cool design, like to be able to get onto like the roof. I just like how it looks. Also in like TV shows and movies and stuff, like people are always hanging out on roofs. I don't know why. I don't think I've ever been up to the roof of like anywhere really. So anyway, this is what we want to have, and it's looking pretty good. So the next part of this, as I mentioned, is for us to make the building to the right. So this is actually where I was talking about A&E. So this is a waiting room slash like seeing rooms. What would you call them? Like actual like rooms where you would get seen in by, a medical professional. So we want to take the corner of this, and we want to extend this corner upwards like this. So it wants to be even and level with the back of this part of the building. We want to add vertical rows of quartz on the front and the back, and we want to join the top of it together using upside down smooth quartz stairs. It would benefit me greatly if I was actually looking at the right part of my plans, where it showed me the windows that we have on the side. Perfect. Okay, so on the side here, there are 3 windows at the bottom. They're spaced evenly apart by 2, so we have a row of 2 glass, gap of 2, row of 2 glass, gap of 2, row of 2 glass. So they want to have the quartz in between them. You guys know the drill. They want to have a row of 2 quartz above them. And then only on the left side, for reasons that I don't know why, there is a small window here on the left. So just on the left side here, we just have a small little window. And then we're going to... Basically then, actually, you can just fill the rest of this in using quartz. So, just the right side. Gotta be a reason that there's a window there. I really wish I could remember why. Oh, we've also got to fill the glass pane. That goes to show you that I make too much stuff that I just cannot remember. I'm sure there's a good reason, but maybe not because it is me. There might not be a good reason. So... on the front of this, we kind of want the same sort of pattern, right? So we want to have a row of smooth quartz on the right side. We want 2 rows on the left. I can't remember how high they are specifically, but you can just match them up to the right side. Oh, they definitely need another row, so just match them up to the right side. We want to have a row of upside down smooth quartz stairs just across the top. And by the way, I like leaving like 2 on the left and 2 on the right rather than just straight across the top. I think it looks a bit better. And then we want to have the same window structure, so 2 glass, space of 2, 2 glass, space of 2, 2 glass, and then these windows basically go as high as they can go. Basically, like, you just keep repeating this pattern until the windows eventually do hit the top, which they will. So just add in the same framework that we've been doing all along, and that's all you got to do. So here, oh, basically, you just get 2 rows because then you'll hit the top here. And by the way, I really love how this hospital looks, and not only is it so wonderfully functional, I feel as though that it does look quite a bit like an actual hospital that probably exists. So I'm quite happy with it. I've definitely taken parts of my local hospital, not specifically in like actual cosmetic design, but in kind of like what I know is there, and in a similar sort of ish layout. I've definitely taken that and adjusted it to this. So, this thing needs to have a roof as well, but I guess we should probably do the back first. So, on the back of this, once again adjusting the plans, it's entirely blank. There's a good reason for that, because, so basically just fill the back of this portion in using glass, using quartz. There's a reason that there's no glass in the back of this is because, like I said, the patient rooms, I don't know what to call it, like the checkout rooms. I'm drawing a total blank on this. My mind is as blank as the back of this. It's where you would see patients, so it makes sense that there's not really any windows here on the back. There's one here on the side, but I think I'll probably add like banners as curtains. Could even add an extra little bit of upside down quartz stairsage if we wanted to, just to kind of keep with the vibe. We want to add a roof to this, so the roof is actually going to drop 1 row lower. I do believe, I want to say that, I think that is the case. Yeah, it's 1 row lower, because, like, the floor is here, just above the windows, which leaves a gap of 3, which is perfectly acceptable. So, again, smooth stone is what I'm going to be using for the roof. In most parts of the hospital, the ceilings are going to be chiseled quartz, but that is because there's, unfortunately, in the hospital, like, I've not made it like a double ceiling, meaning that we can hide stuff in the ceiling, like it's just a single layer of blocks, unfortunately. So we've kind of like, we've got to just use a lot of chiseled quartz and floor materials, unless we did make the floors just smooth stone on the inside, but that seems like a weird choice. So this area here, the right of this area is just completely smooth quartz. So here, just want to fill this up to the top using the smooth quartz. The left of this wants to have an entrance as per mentioned. So we first of all want to take the top of the, actually on the wall, we want to have a row of smooth quartz that is as high. And then we want to have upside down, yeah, it is upside down smooth quartz stairs. And then we want to have a row of smooth quartz block underneath them. There's an entrance here on the right, so it's actually going to be a row of 3 that we want to leave with a glass at the top. And then to the left here, we're going to have, I mean, we could even use upside down smooth quartz stairs just to make it a bit different again. And then we can just make a little window. And then this is an entrance. And then inside here will be, I actually think that there's an entire, like, the wall's just knocked out, but that's something that we'll revisit later on. And then yeah, we'll just fill the roof of this in using smooth quartz, and then that should be just fine. I think that the front of the building is almost done. We'll add the door later, by the way. The front of the building is rapidly coming to a close. What we should do is the actual main entrances, though. It's basically like there's one entrance area, but there's two entrances, like here and here. So this has to be joined together. So let's just do a loose row of smooth quartz, just to kind of like join this together, right? So just a loose row of smooth quartz. The ceiling for this is going to be here, like the ceiling line is going to be where the upside down smooth stairs are, so here. So basically every single floor of the hospital, except barring perhaps the top floor, I can't remember quite well, is it's basically you've got 3 rows. So that's actually quite a sufficient amount of room. So the entrance here wants to look a little bit like this. However, we'll probably knock this out in a bit and we'll change it to chiseled quartz. But that's kind of like how the floors are laid out. And then starting here on the left, like we want to have a gap of 2, and then we want to have a gap of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you'll have a gap of 2 here on the right. And we want the same thing, like a gap of 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there'll be a gap of 2 on the left and right. We can extend this up to the top like this, and these are the entrances. So one side actually takes you to more of the like gift shop / coffee area. This right side here takes you to the A&E and the nurses station. So we want to have 2 doors. It's going to be rows of glass on the left and right, and once again we'll make things much prettier with the interior tutorial, which is going to be a hefty tutorial, let me tell you that. So we have 2 rows of glass and then a row of glass pane on the left. And I mean, you could even mirror it if you wanted to. Actually, I'm quite happy with that. Just the glass on the left, and then they're the entrances, and we'll add lights and stuff in the other tutorial. So we'll just have this like this at the moment. I really want the entire building filled in before we start making other changes. So let's come to the back of the building now, because the back of the building and the left side are the only ones that need any sort of attention. Okay. So let's do this area, because it's going to be quite easy. We have a window up at the top of the build. I want you to take the 2 rows of quartz that we have on the left side of the window, and I want you to join them all the way down to the ground. This might take a second or two. It's not so easy building down. So here, and then here. There we go. Oh, building up is so much better. There we are. So we actually want to have a series of these windows. I believe that we kind of break the mold, and we have rows of 3 smooth quartz. I think that we have rows of 3 smooth quartz between them. So like from the top here, we have a row of 3 smooth quartz, and then we'll have 2 rows of glass pane, and then row of 1, 2, 3, and then it will be 2 rows of glass pane. 1, 2, 3. 2 glass pane. 1, 2, 3. 2 glass pane. Oh, thank goodness, that does work out. And then at the bottom, we've just got the singular. Which means, to this hospital, there are 5 floors. Perfect. So, we extend all of the smooth quartz to the right, and we extend all of the glass to the right. And the reason that I said thank goodness, by the way, is because sometimes, you know, when you're building these things, it's like, is that how many rows there is? I can't quite tell. I've got these plants here, but they're not. I forgot to mark out this part. Like, so we want to have all of this. And then on the right, so peculiarly, that's a difficult word to say. Peculiarly. What's peculiar is that on the right side of the build, there's a small window. So we want to take the bottom corner of this, and we want to place a row of 1, 2, 3 smooth quartz, 2 blue glass pane on the ends, and then add another row on top. And then pretty much everything to the right of the windows that we have just made can be filled in using smooth quartz. So that's the cool part about this. So very, very easy, very, very quick, this part. We will be filling in the rest of the back. There are more windows on the left, but it was actually easier to add the long, what I'll call staircase windows first. So I think that the rest of the windows are for toilets, as I can remember. Again, I've been building an insane amount of stuff recently. So honestly, like I've been blowing through things to design and make. I've been getting a really nice stockpile so that hopefully I can post a little bit more. And I have completely forgotten because I've not been inside the hospital to, make the plans for the outside the hospital. It's not necessary. So I really just cannot quite remember. But I do know that those are the stairs, and I do know that this is the elevator, the lift. Does everybody call it? Is it just the UK that calls it a lift? I'm sure that there's somewhere else. Elevator, I think, is kind of like the worldwide term, like elevator, which I sometimes get confused with escalator. I don't know why, but there we go. Perfect. So that's what the back of this build is looking like so far. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very sorry. I have discovered that I was incorrect. There is not gaps of 3 between these windows. There are gaps of 2. That means that this has to be undone. I'm very sorry that that is the case. But I cannot just simply reverse the tutorial at this point because I've just filled in so much stuff. So, unfortunately, and I do apologize, starting from the bottom window here, make sure that there is a row of 2 smooth quartz, and then a row of 2 glass, extending all the way up to the top window that we've already made. I am very, very sorry that I made this error. It's funny that I was talking about in the plans. It worked out the same way, except we just have like 1 less window. Like you'll notice that like with the gap of 2, as we have hit the top of the build, right? Everything is still perfectly evenly placed. Like the bottom window is exactly where it's supposed to be, which we haven't had to change. The top window is where it's supposed to be. Except now, we've got an additional floor. Bonus, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 floors, it turns out. I'm very, very sorry that that happened. I genuinely thought that it was rows of 3. My bad, I'm so sorry. Okay. Now that that's done, I won't apologize again, on the left side of these windows here, so from here, we now want to have 3 rows of windows starting from the top of this part. So they're made in the same way that we've made 95% of the other windows. So it is 2 rows of glass, 2 rows of quartz, 2 rows of glass, and then there'll be 2 rows of quartz on the left side. So we want to have a 2x2 square of glass starting at the top here. So 2 2x2 squares. And then we'll have 2 rows below. And then once again, we'll have the windows positioned in the same way. We'll have the quartz positioned in the same way. Like this here and here with the glass panes. So 2 2x2s. And then we want to have just another row, quartz, and then let's place the quartz first this time, why not? Let's shake things up a little bit by doing the exact same thing that I like to do every time. So we'll place the glass pane, and then we have 3 rows. I'm sure that there is a good reason that there is no more windows as we extend down. Definitely is a good reason for the bottom floor, although not quite a good reason because there's a nurse's station on the bottom floor in this position. What is there above us? I can't remember. Actually, I think that there's operating rooms on the 2nd floor here, which would explain why the other 3 rows are, or other 3 floors are, have windows. So, this is what we want to have. Very sorry again, I know I said I want to apologize, but I feel bad about it. But this is what the back of the hospital looks like, which leaves the left side of the hospital. We've got a load of windows again. And they're spaced a little differently than some of the other windows. So, let's start here down at the bottom once again. We'll start at the bottom, we'll start at the front. Smooth quartz. 2 glass. 2 quartz. 2 glass. On the left side of this glass, I want you to place 3 smooth quartz. 1, 2, 3, like this. Extend all of these smooth quartz upwards. So, on the left side of this, there is going to be some more windows, but we'll have to do that after we... Like, it'll be easier to place those after we've marked out the front set of windows. That is because, and I'll explain when we get to them, it's to do with a hallway. So we want to place we want to extend all of these quartz blocks upwards, so in between the windows, left and right of the windows. It might be easier just to do one at a time rather than me just messing about doing left and right. Here we go. And then on the right side here, so we have these windows. They actually follow the same pattern as the front, by the way. So if you're just imagining that we are wrapping the front windows around onto the side, it's the same pattern. So we have the 4 sets of 2x4s, and we have the 1 set at the top of 1x2s. So all of these quartz here, and oh my bad. So no, here. And then we'll have a row of quartz at the top. And then let's take a look. There you go. Perfect. You can see how they wrap around. So, on the back of the build here, we want to have 4 sets of windows, including the little one, starting from the top, extending down. So, or we can start from the bottom, then extend up. It doesn't really matter. So, on the back, we want to have the same windows. It's just an extra row of windows here, except rather than traditionally 2 rows away, they are 3 rows away. As I mentioned, quite briefly, it's because of a hallway. It's the hallway in between the wards and in between the elevator and blah, 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 blah. And here we go. Perfect. So, this is the set of windows. We don't have a window right at the bottom because that is where... I keep calling it like a gift shop. It is sort of a gift shop, but it's sort of like... And again, this is going to be like probably another word that that might only just be a British sort of thing. But it's kind of like a... I've lost the word, like a newsagent's as well. So like it'll be like you can get the paper, you can get maybe like a very small convenience store, perhaps might be another word for it. Like you can get a drink, you can get some food. There's like the paper, there's like some books and stuff. Like it's also a gift shop. Like if you guys have ever been to hospital, and I'm sure that you might have, probably more than likely at some point in your life, you might have even started off there, you know, all the way back when. Although you probably wouldn't remember that. We want to fill the back of this in with smooth quartz. Then you've probably seen one of these. Sometimes it's like an actual like chain. Like sometimes it perhaps might be like a W.H. Smith's or something, which kind of like covers what I just said. It's sort of like a gift shoppy sort of book, sort of food, and sort of like newsagents sort of it. Like it's that sort of deal. So anyway. I think that I over-explained that far too much. I think, what else have we got to do? Oh, we've done all the windows already. I thought that we had to add those in. So, that is what the left side so far looks like. Very happy with that. And we have now filled in the front. We've filled in the sides. We've got kind of like the skeleton of the hospital sorted out. I'm very happy with it. It's such an impressive looking building. It's so huge. I love it. I love the design of this. Very, very happy with it. Can you tell I'm happy with myself? So there we go. Very impressive. What we now have to do is we have to start laying out like the ground of the hospital. So if we start here on the left, we'll start where it all started. You know, it makes sense. There wants to be a footpath. It is a double-wide, smooth stone footpath that runs all the way to the right side. It supersedes this pillar by 2 rows, goes past it by 2 rows, and then it extends backwards, like this. And it wants to, we're going to dig, yeah, basically it wants to extend all the way back here. It wants to hit this wall. It wants to go to the right, and once again, we're maintaining the 2. We're maintaining a gap of 2. We're digging out rows of 2. It extends all the way to the right, and then it extends to the back. So we'll just have it wrap around the back like this. We want to dig out the entrance area as well. So in amongst all of these pillars, we don't have to. How far do we have to go? Probably here, like not underneath the door, but up to the door. So meaning the glass. Just like this. And this all wants to be dug out, and it wants to be replaced with smooth stone. At some point in time, I probably am going to cut out a portion of me filling stuff in, but I think that I might save that for the grey concrete, because a large amount of this is going to be grey concrete. Like, when we get to the car park, yes, I've even done a car park. Love car parks. There's a car park at the back. It's quite a big car park. It can be extended indefinitely, really. I mean, you can just keep extending it. But all of this wants to be filled in with smooth stone. We need to make a wall around the hospital. We've got to make some ambulance spaces on the front / disabled spaces, perhaps. Perfect. So yeah, so we've got to fill this in to the right. Probably going to add a hedge and limit the amount of walking space just on the front right and right side. The two most important parts will limit the walking space, make that difficult for everybody. So on the right side here, I'm just going to add a row of oak leaves just around this because it looks nicer, not because it's more practical. So this is kind of like what we're working with so far. Quite happy with that. We want to add a railing. So we're going to add a railing here. So the railing pretty much just sits in front of the hospital. So we'll leave these two gaps here on the end. So that's literally made out of iron bars. I was almost about to call it iron railing. But it's made out of iron bars. You can even use chains if you like, but I actually prefer the bars. I did try them both. Why can't I place the carpet? Here, so light grey carpet on top of the iron bars. Looks quite nice. We'll place some light grey concrete underneath it a little bit later on. I think we've got to get new materials, guys. Completely floundered that word. So we'll probably have to revisit some of these. Almost certainly, definitely will. But for now, let's get rid of all these materials and let's get some new ones out for a little bit. So yellow concrete, terracotta, diorite wall, chiseled quartz block, grey concrete, light grey concrete, sea lanterns, iron trapdoors, azure bluettes. So light grey concrete wants to be placed underneath the iron bars. So, you know, I don't know why I'm being so careful, because all this does have to be ripped up. So, light grey concrete underneath the iron bars. Then, we want to have the car park spaces. Realising we're going to have to get the quartz back. So, I'll tell you what. The chiseled quartz, not so necessary, really, at the moment. Grab smooth quartz block instead. Okay. Starting on the left here, we want to have 3 rows wide, 7 rows long of this pattern. So blank, yellow, blank, and actually, okay, this might be easier. 3 rows wide, place a quartz. 3 rows wide, place a quartz. 3 rows wide, place a quartz, like this, right? They want to be 7 rows long. I'm going to extend the quartz to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That will make it 7 rows, and then I can just extend the quartz. White concrete also works here just fine, if you're sort of sick of quartz. You might be. So here we go. This is an easier way to do it. Now, inside of these spaces, we want to have this pattern. So on one row, blank, yellow, blank. Next row, yellow, blank, yellow. Previous row, next row, previous row. You guys get the idea. Chessboard, checkerboard, alternating, 1, 2, 1, 2. Same thing for the next one and the one after that. And there is even a little bit of a thing to do as well after this one. So here we've got, after this one actually, jumping the gun a little bit. So here, perfect. And then at the very end here, we want to have the same pattern sort of continued, except we only want it to be pretty much just like 1 row, 2 rows of it. So just kind of like an extra little bit of walk around. So in an ideal world, but I'm going to do this later because it's going to be a lot of work. Grey concrete will be in between those. That is the... I almost called it like an ambulance rank, because you get like taxi ranks, which means, you know, the taxis are all in a row, so but they're for ambulances. So I don't quite know what to call it, but it's special ambulance bays, or perhaps, you know, super special emergency bays. Now that we've got that covered, I think it'd be good to add a row of terracotta. Okay, the row of terracotta is basically going to extend all the way along the right side of the build, across the back, and up the left side of the building. It's only one row of terracotta. This is to box us in. This is to make the hospital its own thing. So if you want to build this in a city centre, probably wouldn't include the wall, or maybe you would, I don't know. You might do. You probably would include the wall, perhaps, because you don't want just random people kind of... But then again, you sort of do want random people wandering it, and that's the point of the hospital. So, now that we've got the 3 big rows of terracotta, or 1 or 3 that's become what, you guys get the idea, we want to have a way to get in and out. So, that is going to be achieved with a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 grey concrete here on the right. That is 3 rows long, or 3 rows wide, rather. It's kind of difficult to, you know. So, row 4, 3 rows in. And we want to have the same thing here on the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that wants to be 3 rows in. So here, here. Perfect. We will then, let's put smooth quartz block back. Grab smooth stone. We want to have the first 2 outward rows of this. They want to be... We're going to have to destroy part of that wall as well. I just realised. The first 2 rows of this, in between the rows of grey concrete, want to be smooth stone. Like this. So here and here. Behind this, a row of terracotta. Behind the smooth stone. Just like so. Going to destroy the last 2... My bad. We're going to destroy the 2 outwards terracottas. Destroy these outward rows. Smooth stone. The same thing here on the left. Destroy these 2. Smooth stone. And then on the entrance... So the left side here is the entrance to the hospital. We're going to have 2 diorite wall on top of each other. And then I have these iron trap doors on me, and this might be better. I was going to use smooth quartz slab, but 2 iron trap doors on top. And then this is the exit, so 2 wall here with iron trap doors on top. That's perfect. And then later on, we'll make banners to show that this is in, that's out. You either drive around the front and then make your way out, or you drive around the back and then make your way out. I have developed what's known as the one-way system. So, this is what we want to have so far. I reckon that we should, because the banners and the big plus are going to be the most fun part, because that's kind of like putting a cherry on top of the cake. So I reckon that the next part for us is going to be to work our way around the back. This may look intimidating because it's a very large area, but it's actually incredibly easy. It's just car park. That's pretty much all this area is. So, how do we want to deal with this? What do we need to deal with this? We need leaves, smooth stone, bit of grey concrete, block of quartz or white concrete. We need smooth quartz slabs, diorite wall, sea lanterns, iron trapdoor, azure bluettes, maybe some more stuff, but I actually think that covers it. So, let's extend this dark oak leaf hedge that we have, any leaves would do. Extend this hedge all the way to the right. And I do mean all the way to, literally all the way to the right here. And then join it to the hospital here. And then we're going to fill this in with hedge. Because it didn't seem to sit well with me that for some reason there was just a big blank empty space. Hence why we've got the hedge filled in. Later on, we could make an entrance here, but then we would have to chop and change what the actual, like, this is where the news agency place is here, so probably just leave it as a hedge, actually. But I did like the idea of having an additional entrance, but I guess people just got to walk around. So we'll have we want a row of smooth stone all the way around the hedge, but not this side here, like this is going to be kind of like a road. Not kind of like, it's going to be a road. So we want to have just the 1 row of smooth stone. And now we've got to start planning out and this is why it's not difficult, by the way, because now it's just car park, right? So now that that's been decorated, it's just car park from here. So we'll start all the way from the left where we have the smooth stone, and we'll dig out a row of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Place grey concrete in here. Then place 2 smooth quartz slab. It is possible that I made a slight boo-boo, but this time we roll back the tape. So, after placing 2 smooth quartz slabs, we then want to place 2 smooth stone. And then 3 grey concrete. 1, 2, 3. This is all placed in the ground, by the way, which is pre-dug, as you can see. Smooth quartz block. 3 grey concrete. Smooth quartz block. 3 grey concrete. 2 smooth stone. 1, 2, and finally 2 smooth quartz slabs. The end result should be this series of rows right here, which is perfect. So, we are going to take the quartz, and we're going to extend each quartz to the right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill that in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill that in. And then we want to place smooth stone on the ends, like this. And we pretty much want to connect the smooth stone down and up. And we want to join it to the pre-existing smooth stone that we already had. So we want to extend it up and down just like this. And this is basically like half of the car park spaces, believe it or not. Very, very easy. So, just like this. Perfect. Let's take a quick look. So, for the top of this, the top part here, we want to extend the top 2 smooth stone forwards by 2. We can then join the smooth quartz slab from the left all the way to the right of this. And on the bottom here, we want to extend the quartz slab to the right and then inwards to make this shape. Then we want to make the equivalent shape of this to the right. So we'll take each of these smooth quartz and then we'll extend them to the right on the opposite side of the smooth stone. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put the smooth quartz in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put the smooth quartz in there. And then we want to have kind of like the same sort of, like we want to extend the smooth stone so that it is even and opposite to the opposite side here. So here at the top, or here at the bottom actually, and then here at the top, just like this. And we want to have the smooth quartz slabs across, down. We can place some flowers in these 2 spaces here, so at the top. And we need to have smooth quartz slabs here with flowers inside here. And you can see that all you have to do is just dig out the area inside of the smooth quartz, and you just have to make it grey. There are lights as well. So the lights are basically to be placed, there's 2 sets of lights. One here in between, basically they're both the smooth stone in between the smooth quartz. And we want to have rows of 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4. 1, 2, 3. Shall we make it 3 or 4? We'll have 4 diorite wall on top of each other. And then we'll have we need light grey concrete for this. We'll just chuck the hedge away for a second. So light grey concrete on top. Sea lanterns, left and right. Smooth quartz slab on top of the light grey, and iron trapdoors on top of the sea lanterns, and boom, you just have some lights. Perhaps not the fanciest looking lights, but lights all the same. Once you've done that on this side, we want to do the exact same thing on the right side, and I do mean the exact same thing. So we can even use the same methodology. We come all the way over to the right side where we have the smooth stone, and we can dig a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can turn that into grey concrete. Then 2 rows of smooth quartz slab, 2 rows of smooth stone, 3 rows, 1, 2, 3 of grey concrete, 1 row of quartz, 3 rows of grey concrete, 1 row of quartz, 3 rows of grey, 2 rows of smooth stone. Then, a row of 2 smooth quartz slabs on the end. We'll have something which should look like this. We can then extend the smooth quartz 1, 2, 3, 4 across, 1, 2, 3, 4 across, smooth stone on the end. We want to dig and join here, so it'll, well, it doesn't matter that we've accidentally dug a bit too far. So we want to dig, and this wants to be even and level with the quartz, and we want to dig down, and we want to make the smooth stone. Oh, that's how we did it last time, my bad. So basically we just dig up and down and we join it left and right to the smooth stone. However, I jumped ahead a little bit because we do want to have a little pathway on the upper part, because of course that takes us to the hospital itself. But regardless, this is what we want to have. And then we want to make the opposite side. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quartz, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quartz, just like this. And then we want to extend the smooth stone across, just like so. Here, and here, and here, and here. Perfect. And then we want to extend the smooth quartz slabs across the bottom, in, add an extra little bit in the middle. At the top, we want to extend the across the top, leave that gap across the top, down. We can add flowers. These are just 2 nice little flower beds. Equally so you could use leaves. Equally so you could use any flower. It doesn't matter. Or even a mix. Doesn't even matter. It's up to you. And then, of course, we have now 2 lots of car parking space. We've just got to add some lights. So in between the 2 car parking areas, so like 1, 2, 3, 4 diorite wall, 1, 2, 3, 4 diorite wall. We stick a light grey concrete on top. We place sea lanterns on the opposite sides of the light grey concrete. We place smooth quartz slabs on top of the light grey with iron trapdoors on top. And then we have 2 nice evenly spaced car parks, or set of car parking spaces is what I'm trying to say. Then, I think that's actually perfect because, oh no, this leaves a row of 4 at the bottom, which can then, I mean, we'll have to grab that light grey out again, but then, along the bottom here, to maintain kind of like the row of 4 that we've kind of got going on, you can place either a row of hedge or a row of flowers, and then that kind of leaves like a row of 4 going all the way around the hospital. Let's throw that back away and let's get the light grey, because of course, we've just got to make one more part of the car park, and that is directly in the center. So, what this basically entails is, if we start from the smooth stone path, because I think that is the easiest way to do this, we'll leave a gap of 3 between the inward smooth stone path here, so like a gap of 1, 2, you can even use grey concrete if you want, gap of 1, 2, 3, and then if on the right side here as well, like 1, 2, 3, you place some grey concrete, and then in between these, you can just have a long row of smooth stone, just in between the 2 rows of 3 grey concrete, so here and here, just like this. And then you want to, in the center of this, and you'll find that the center is a row of 2 rather than a row of 1. The center will have a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the left, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the right. And you just want to find the center, and you want to place a row of 2 by 2 smooth stone at the end. And then we can place the same decoration using the quartz slabs that we have, just like this. And then we want to extend this row of 2 smooth stone all the way down to the bottom, and you want to line it up with the smooth stone that we have for the other rows, of course. So you can see the other rows of smooth stone just down here at the bottom, and then we will extend out the bottom 2 rows. And we want to make this, again, it's just even and level with the top part of this. And then we will add the individual spacers So you can see here how this is going along, and then we can add the row of smooth quartz along the bottom, and we'll do the exact same thing as well, by the way. So we'll add the 2 rows of smooth slabs just at the bottom, just inwards like so, and then we want to add the rows of smooth quartz just as car parking spaces here and here and here and here. Oh, here, there we go. They come a little bit further. The middle is a little bit bigger because there was no way to make the middle without reducing, like, you know how you've got like row 4 to go all the way around everywhere else? There was no way to kind of like evenly space it. Like if you made rows of 4, then you had like tiny little car parking space. It just didn't seem right. So I made the middle a little bit bigger and the car parking spaces are longer. So all we've got to do now, because we're not going to include lights, although you could place lights in the center, but I'm not going to. Just going to keep the lights on the left and right side. So this is like what the car park looks like so far. There's only one little bit of detail that I want to add, which either smooth quartz or white concrete will do. I want to add a zebra crossing. You guys know what a zebra crossing is? Basically, it's just to, if you're standing at it, a pedestrian, a car has to let you pass. So basically, at the end of this path here, we're going to leave a gap of 1 and then a row of 3. Gap of 1 and then a row of 3. The rows of 3 that we've dug out, we're going to replace with white. We're going to do this on the left and right side. So gap of 1, row of 3, gap of 1, row of 3. And that is, again, just to indicate to cars that they've got to wait for you. So the middle is a little bit bigger, so we'll have a row of 1, and then we'll leave a gap of 1, and then a row of 4, gap of 1, row of 4. And believe it or not, I'm very, very happy to tell you this. That is the car park complete. So it wasn't that bad, right? It wasn't that bad. We needed it. I mean, it makes sense that a hospital would have a car park. And then this can go as far back as you want. So if you want to make your hospital larger, you feel free to make it go back further. So this is what we have so far. There is but a few finishing touches to add to the hospital, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to grab what we need for that. So, funnily enough, I don't have one of the things on me, which is relatively important. But we need red concrete, loom, white banner, black dye, white dye. We'll start off with that and then we'll sort the other banners out. So, or should we wait until last? Oh, no. Okay, hang on. Okay. We'll do the other banners first, alright? So, loom, light blue dye, white dye, red banner, light blue banner, and we're going to need a door. So it'll have been in the item list, but I forgot it myself. The door, the oak door, is quite simply for, boom, this area here. Just to walking in and out onto that area. The loom is for multiple purposes. So let's throw the loom down, crack it open. It's very possible that I actually forgot how to make this banner. And I had one bad attempt at it. So the way that we make this banner, it is actually very simple. So we throw a light blue banner in there, white dye. Vertical row of white straight up the middle of the banner. Grab that, throw the white out, throw light blue in, make the top half of the banner light blue. Grab that, put that back in, or throw it away. Come here. So if you decide to put it back in, there we go. And then put white dye in. And we want to have the diamond. Perfect. So that's about as close as an arrow as I can get. So that's banner number 1. We have our, like, arrow. This is the way in banner. Throw a red banner in there with white dye. And this is easy to remember. A horizontal row of white straight through the middle. Why couldn't the arrow be as easy as that? And boom, there you go. So, with the arrow banner, you simply place it on the left side here, and it kind of like points and it's like, this is the way. So there we go. And then all the way over here on the right, 2 red banners, which basically means this is not the way. So that's all you've got to do. So in, out, which leaves but one job. And I'm very excited about this because, as you guys might have been able to tell, I kind of wanted to leave it till last because it seems like most fun to, like, it's going to be like the icing on the cake. Okay. We have to, I don't need another loom. So we have to write out a hospital. That's going to be the first job, but that's not going to be the most fun part. So I don't know why I'm finding the word hospital that I've got written on the front. Okay, so we'll start off with, we need a white banner in there. Black die. First letter, hospital, it's an H. So vertical row of black on the left, vertical row of black on the right, horizontal row of black in between the middle. H. Next will be O. So we need vertical row on the right, left, horizontal row on the top, and then the bottom. Perfect. O. Next will be S. So horizontal row across the bottom, top, diagonal row, top left corner to bottom right corner. Next letter is an awkward one. It's P. So we need a vertical row on the right. Grab that. Throw the black out. White in. Lower half of the banner wants to be white. Grab that. Throw the white out. Black back in. Middle horizontal row of black straight through the middle of the banner. Vertical row of black on the left. Horizontal row of black across the top. And then boom, we have P. Next, we want to have I, which you guys might know this is my favorite letter to make. Vertical row of black just straight up the banner. Boom. So that's I. Next would be T. So actually another easy one. Vertical row of black straight up the middle. Horizontal across the top. Perfect. Accidentally grabbed the light grey carpet there. Hospital. So we just need two more letters. A. Which horizontal row across the top, that's a good start. Through the middle. Vertical row on the right. Vertical row on the left. A. So that leaves but one. So let's actually, I want to shift the letters one row up so we've actually got room for this. So brand new banner in here. Vertical row on the left, excellent start. Horizontal row across the bottom, boom. We have the word hospital. The way that we place it is we come all the way up to the top of the build, where we have these little windows here, gap of 1, H-O-S-P-I-T-A-L, hospital. Perfect. Now, that's all fine and well. The hospital looks great. It does. It's fine. But there is one thing missing. And this is the part that I'm excited to do, because I think that this pulls the build all the way together. Okay. The way that we place this, grab the red concrete, come to the row of windows that's just one row below the top. We line up with the top of this window, leave a gap of... What do we leave a gap of? I think it's a gap of 3. Hang on. I think it's a gap of 2, maybe 1, 2. No, it's not. Okay. I don't even know how to do this. So, we'll line up with P and I for hospital. This is even easier. P and I. We'll leave a gap of 1, and then we'll place 2 red concrete. Okay, this is better. This is easier. So, P and I, pie, love it. Not as good as cake, but it's still good. Gap of 1, row of 2 red concrete. Drop the red concrete down. 1 row, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like this. So you can see it's the length of 2 windows. So we take the space in between the windows and we extend the plus to the right and left. We take the 2 middle rows, extend it left and right like this. And there you have your giant plus for your hospital. That is the cherry on the cake. That is the icing on the cake. If you don't like cherries, I think that really does just put an end to this. That looks excellent. Oh, I'm so happy. That looks awesome. So, what is next? You're probably thinking, like, what is there left to do? Actually, nothing. Except that we've got to rip up all of the grass and we got to turn it into grey concrete. That is it. All the grass has got to go. Got to turn it into grey concrete. Usually, I might subject you to that, but that's actually a that's going to take so long to do. and it's so uninteresting to watch, and it is literally what I've just said. But at this point in the tutorial, if you have made it this far, rip up the grass, replace it with grey concrete. I'm going to come back and we're going to take a look at what this looks like once that is done, because that will be the end of part 1. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is what your hospital will look like once it has been 100% fully completed, or as completed as it is going to get in this video. I have ripped up all the grass, I've replaced it with grey concrete, and this is looking good. Very, very happy with the progress that we have made in this tutorial. If you have enjoyed this build, if it has helped you out, if you like the hospital, please do remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, click that little bell next to the subscription button, and if you do want to look out for part 2, part 3, and part 4, maybe even part 5 and 6, who knows? I do have a couple more vehicles that I sort of want to add to this build that have yet to be named. But find all of the parts of the hospital, card system, description below, top of the comment section, all of those places, and failing that, the city builds playlist. You'll be able to find everything in there, but I'll make it nice and easy for you to find everything that you gotta find. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!